Welcome to the third episode of our masterclass series for the year 2024. I'm Alexandria from the Service Desk Plus team, and I'll be your trainer for today's session. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to attend this session. And for those of you who've been attending the previous episodes of this series, you might be aware that so far we've looked at how you can set up the basic configurations to get your instance up and running. We've also looked at how with Service Desk Plus you can strengthen your request fulfillment processes. So in today's episode, I'll be walking you through how you can streamline your incident management workflows with Service Desk Plus. With that, let's move on to the agenda for today's session. So in this episode, I'll be walking you through how you can create and customize your own incident templates and how you can make them accessible to the right people. Then we'll look at how you can build and associate relevant life cycles to the templates that you create. Once that is done, we'll move into the problem management module where we'll explore how you can implement a powerful problem management practice. And finally, we'll look at how you can create and maintain a knowledge repository of your own. And before we dive deeper into all of this, let's have a quick poll. This again is to help me understand where exactly you stand in your problem management practice, or if you already have any strategies in place to perform your incident postmortems. So please answer yes if you already have a problem management practice in place, or yes, you're in the process of implementing one, or no, but you'd like to do so in the future, or simply no. I'll keep this poll open for the next 15 seconds, so kindly drop in your answers. Thank you for participating in the poll. I can see that some of you already have a problem management practice in place and some of you don't. So no matter what your current state is, I hope that this session will either help you get started from scratch or it can help you strengthen the strategies that you already have in place. With that, let's move on to today's use case. So first, let me introduce you to Zilker. So Zilker is a fictional organization that we often use for our presentations. For today's use case, let's assume that Zilker is a retail and logistics vendor that operates globally across 100 plus countries. And during a Cyber Monday sale, their ERP system goes offline, causing major service disruptions, bringing multiple areas of Zilker to a standstill, and one of those areas being their order fulfillment services. Now the IT team at Zilker is flooded with emails, tickets, and phone calls from employees who are unable to access their ERP application. And without the right information on what exactly has gone wrong, and also without standardized processes to handle an outage of this sort, the IT team at Zilker is hampered by so many delays. And as we all know, every passing minute of this downtime can cause major revenue loss for Zilker. Now that we have a basic understanding of today's use case, let me quickly walk you through how Zilker was used to handling such issues before using Service Desk Plus. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the main challenges that Zilker was faced with was lacking contextual information on what was happening. This was because the IT team at Zilker was unable to properly engage with its end users and other stakeholders. On top of that, they also did not have any set or standardized process to handle an outage of this sort. So all of this meant that there was enterprise-wide confusion and frustration. Apart from that, the incident response team also struggled with poor task management. Their incident resolution process was also very time-consuming, one because they did not have a problem management practice in place, which could have otherwise helped them drill down into what was causing the outage in the first place, and two, because every time similar incidents happened in the past, the IT team at Zilker, they failed to document their solutions and workarounds. So this meant that during this ERP outage, they also did not have a knowledge base that they could fall back on. Now, with the issues that we just saw, let's break them down into 5 different challenges, and let's look at how Service Desk Plus helps Zilker address each of those challenges. So the first challenge being collecting contextual information. So the IT team at Zilker, they used Service Desk Plus to create and customize their own incident templates. So this helped them gather all the necessary information from their end users right during ticket creation. So to help you understand this better, let's look at it from an end user's perspective. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of an employee at Zilker who is facing issues with their ERP application. So, as an end user, once I'm logged into my account, I'm directed to my self-service portal. So from here, I can report an issue, I can raise a new service request, or I can also browse through the knowledge base. So for now, let me click on report an issue. And this now takes me to the category page. So all of the templates that Zilker has in place will be grouped under separate categories. So let me click on incident templates. And this now shows me the list of templates that Zilker has created for different kinds of issues. So let me open a template that is specific to the issue that we're facing right now, which is an unresponsive ERP application. So this loads up the form that we'd have to fill in to submit our ticket. Now notice how, as and when I fill in certain details, an additional question pops up. So again, when I click on the resource as MacBook, another question pops up. So this is what makes the template very dynamic, wherein as an end user, I'm not bombarded by all of these questions at once, but only based on the input I give, relevant data fields are shown to me. So we'll be looking at how you can not only create and customize your own incident templates, but also how to make them dynamic a little later. For now, let's go ahead and submit the request. And as you can see, it's as simple as that for me as an end user to report this issue, right? Now let's look at it from a technician's perspective. Let's look at how, as a technician, you'd be constructing this template and how, as a technician, you'd be working on the ticket that we just created. So let me go to my technician account. All right. Right now, I'm logged in as a technician, and this is the IT instance of Zilker. On the panel to my left, I can view all the different modules I have access to. So this again will differ depending on the roles and permissions that I have. For now, let's look at how we can create and customize our own incident templates. So for that, let me go to Setup, which is the cogwheel icon you see here. And under Templates and Forms, let me click on Incident Template. So let me quickly open a template that I've already created to help you understand this better. So this is where we'll be building and customizing our incident templates. So these are all the different tabs that are available. Let's go over each of them. Under the technician view, you get to construct what kind of information this template has to collect from your technicians. So to do that, we have this easy to use drag and drop canvas where you can simply drag and drop different sections or data fields from the panel to your right. So you can either use the fields that are available out of the box, or you can go ahead and create new fields. So this is the list of field types that you can choose from. And if you feel that one of these fields that you're using will be collecting personally identifiable information, you can also choose to encrypt that field. And for each of these data fields that you use, you can also perform other granular actions like making the field mandatory or allowing your requesters to set values to the field or just be able to view the field. On scrolling down, you can also choose to make this template accessible to specific stakeholders. So to do that, you can either associate specific technician groups to your template, or you can also show it to your requester. So only when you enable this will this template be available to your end users in their self-service portal. You can also restrict its accessibility to specific user groups as well. Next, we have the requester view. So this again is very similar to what we just saw, wherein here you'd construct what information you'd like to collect from your end users. So again, you can go ahead and drag and drop different sections and data fields according to your needs. Coming to tasks. So all of the activities that you'll have to perform to resolve this incident, you can break them down into multiple tasks and you can assign them to specific technicians or technician groups. So to add a new task, you click on Add Task. You can either choose from an existing task template, or you can go ahead and fill in the details from scratch. So you'll specify a title, given a description, assign it to a specific technician group, assign an owner, set the priority, and so on. So for each of these tasks that you create, you can either trigger them manually or when the ticket is created, or if you have any approvals in place, you can trigger these tasks once you receive the approval from your higher up. Next, we have checklists. So over here, you can create or associate checklists, which would again help you perform your tasks better. Finally, we have form rules. So this is what will help you make your templates very dynamic. So with form rules, you can perform condition-based actions on your data fields. So let me open a form rule that I've already created. So over here, you'll specify a name, given a description. You can choose who this rule should apply for, whether all your users or just your requesters or just your technicians. You can also choose which template this rule has to be applied to. So either all your templates or just select templates. You can also choose when you'd like to execute the rule. So either on form load or when a particular data field is changed field value is changed within a data field, or on form submit. And then you can go ahead and set the conditions based on which you'd like to perform different actions. So in Zilker's case, if this particular data field is not empty, is when we'd like to perform the action of showing the next field, which is the resource field. So apart from showing fields, you can hide fields, enable or disable fields, or say you have a pick list, you can also go ahead and clear, add, or remove options. So this is how you can leverage form rules to perform condition-based actions on your data fields. And as you can see, you can create multiple form rules to make your templates very dynamic. So now that we've seen how to create and customize our own incident templates and how to make them accessible to the right people and also how to make them dynamic, let's go ahead and look at how the ticket that we just created would be worked on. So for that, let me go into my request module. And this now will take me to my ticket queue. So as you can see, the ticket that we just created is here at the top of our list, right? Notice how a technician has been automatically assigned to this ticket. There was no manual intervention, right? So let's look at how Zilker's IT team automated this process. For that, let me go to setup again. And under automation, we have business rules. So this again is very similar to form rules, wherein these are also condition based. So let me open a rule that I've already created. So over here, you can specify a name, given a description, choose when you'd like to execute the rule. So when a request is created, edited, or deleted, you can choose to factor in your operational hours, and then you can set the conditions based on which you'd like to perform different actions. So in Zilker's case, for all the incoming tickets with the category as application, they'll be automatically routed to this particular technician. So this is how the IT team at Zilker automated their technician assignment process. But with business rules, its scope can go beyond just routing tickets, right? You can also go ahead and perform other actions. So you can run custom functions with low-code scripts, or you can also send out notifications to keep all the relevant stakeholders in the loop. Apart from this, you can also perform slightly more advanced tasks where you can abort ticket creation for certain kinds of issues. So take Zilker's example again. Let's say the IT team at Zilker is aware of the ERP outage and they are currently working on resolving it. Meanwhile, they'd like to prevent their end users from being able to create further tickets with regards to their ERP application. In that case, I can set the category as application and factor in one more condition where I say if the subject line contains the words ERP, then I'd like to abort ticket creation for the tickets that match these conditions. I can also go ahead and provide a custom abort message. So let's say we are aware of the outage and are currently working on it. So this is how you can leverage business rules to perform condition-based actions on your incoming tickets. Let's now go back to our ticket queue. All right. Now, as you can see, the same end user Mark has logged in multiple tickets for the same issue, right? In cases like this, it can become very time consuming for your technicians to handle all of those duplicate tickets individually. So what you can do is you can select those duplicate tickets and merge them together. So this would then ask you to select a parent ticket. So what this means is all of the remaining tickets that you've selected will automatically become the child tickets, and all the notes, the work logs, everything from under your child ticket will be moved under your parent ticket. So this way your technician would only have to work on one big ticket instead of three in this case. Take a different scenario where multiple users are facing the same issue and they're logging in their tickets. In that case, you can't really merge these tickets, but what you can do is you can link them together. So you'll be selecting those tickets and click on link requests. So the ticket that was created first will be retained as your parent ticket, and all of the remaining tickets will be linked to your parent ticket. So this way your technician would only have to, and this also makes it easier for your technicians to handle similar incidents together. So let's now go into the ticket that we just created and see how it would be worked on. All right. Right now we're in our ticket workspace, and these are all the different tabs that are available to us. So let's go over each of them. Under the Conversations tab, you get to directly communicate with your end user without having to toggle between multiple windows. And whatever conversation that happens here will be recorded under this tab. Next, we have the Details tab. So over here, you get to see everything that you need to know about your ticket, right? So you get to see the incident details, your requester details, and most importantly, you get to see the time within which this incident has to be resolved. So this again is based on the SLA that is associated to this ticket. So let's now look at how these SLAs can be configured. So I'll go to Setup again, and under Automation, we have Service Level Agreements. So let me open one that I've already created. So you can specify a name, give in a description. You can set the conditions based on which you'd like your SLA to kick in. You can also go ahead and specify the time within which this incident has to be responded to and the time within which it has to be resolved. You can also factor in your holidays and weekends to make sure that this incident is resolved irrespective of operational hours. And for all of the SLAs that you create, you can also configure escalation rules. So in Service Desk Plus, for your response time, you can enable one level of escalation. And for your resolution time, you can enable up to 4 levels of escalation. And for each of these escalation levels, you can choose to escalate it either proactively, that is before the SLA breach has even occurred, or reactively as well. You can choose to escalate it to organization roles or specific technicians, and you can also perform other actions. So you can send out notifications to make sure that you keep all your relevant stakeholders in the loop, and you can also perform field updates. So say your resolution time has been elapsed, and now you'd like to loop in a different technician. In that case, you can go ahead and perform a field update. So this is how you can configure SLAs and set up escalation rules for your SLAs. Let's go back to our ticket. Next, we have tasks and checklists. So we already saw how these would work while we were constructing our template, right? So apart from creating and embedding tasks from within your template, you can also create tasks from your ticket. So all you have to do is click on Add Task and fill in the necessary details. Next, we have resolution. So whatever solution you find towards resolving this issue, you can go ahead and record it here. So we'll be looking at solutions in detail in the later half of the session. So let's move on to the next step. So under reminders, you can go ahead and send yourself timely reminders to make sure that you keep proper tabs on all of your tasks. And if any of your tasks require an approval from a higher up, you can simply send this ticket for approval from here. So all you have to do is specify the user and click on Send. Finally, we have work log. So over here, you can record the efforts of your technicians. So you can go ahead and specify the time that it took for them to resolve the issue. And you can also go ahead and include the costs incurred. All right. Now, let's say as a technician, you'd like to speed up your resolution process, and for that, you'd like to collaborate with other technicians who are well versed with these kind of issues. In that case, you can go ahead and share this ticket. So you'd go to Actions and click on Share. So this would then let you share this ticket with other technicians, technician groups, organization roles, or even requesters. Now take a different scenario where you're a technician who's not directly working on this ticket, but you'd like to be kept posted on all of the updates with regards to this incident. In that case, you can go to Actions and follow the incident. So this now shows this particular icon, which indicates that you are now following this incident. So let's quickly go back to our deck and see what we've covered so far. So first we saw how you can create and customize your own incident templates and how you can make them accessible to specific stakeholders. Then we saw how we can link and merge similar tickets together. We also saw how you can share or follow incidents. And then we saw how you can configure business rules to perform condition-based actions on your tickets. And then we saw how you can configure SLAs and set escalation rules for your SLAs. Now let's move on to request lifecycle. So coming back to my ticket, if you can follow my cursor, we have these rectangular boxes over here, right? So these are called transitions. So what these would do is it would guide me as a technician in the way I should handle this particular ticket. So this way I won't be able to make any arbitrary decisions, but only follow a standardized process throughout this ticket's life cycle. So let's see how these would be configured. So again, I'll go to Setup, and under Automation, we have Life Cycles. So to create a new life cycle, you click on New Life Cycle. You can specify a name. So let me say ERP issue. You can give in a description, and you can associate specific templates to this life cycle. When I click on Next, it then takes me to a graphical drag and drop canvas where I can build the path that this ticket has to take up right from start to end. So on the panel to my right, like I said earlier, you can go ahead and associate specific templates. And you can also go ahead and drag and drop the different statuses that your ticket would progress through. So for now, let me use the open status. And you can go ahead and connect your statuses to with what we call as transitions. So to create a new transition, you'd click on this plus icon and you can specify a name. So let me say incident reported. All right. Likewise, you can go ahead and use multiple statuses that you feel that this particular ticket has to go through. So let's say the final status would be the resolve status, and you can go ahead and connect them with your transitions. Now to explain what each of these transitions would entail, let me open a life cycle that I've already created to explain all of this in detail. All right, so this is the life cycle that the ticket that we're working on will take up. So as you can see, the white boxes over here, they are the different statuses that our ticket would go through, and they are connected with these green boxes, which are the transitions. And for each of these transitions that you see, they'll have three different stages: the before, during, and after stage. So in the before stage, you get to set the scope as to who can view and access these transitions and based on what criteria they can access them. So only the roles that you specify here will be able to see these transitions in their ticket workspace. In the during stage, you can mandate certain fields, meaning that only when these fields are filled in will you be able to transition to your next status. So this again will make sure that you collect all the necessary information at every stage of this ticket's life cycle. You can also go ahead and perform field updates in your during stage. And finally, we have the after stage. So let me click on a different transition. Let's say initiate RCA. And in your after stage, you can perform other actions like sending out notifications, adding tasks, Or if you'd like to integrate with a third-party application, you can trigger a webhook. You can also run custom functions. So that's what we're doing right now. We're running a custom function where we simultaneously create a problem ticket and link it to our incident. So to help you understand this better, let me show you how all of this would work in our ticket. So let me go back to my ticket. And since we figured that this is a major incident, let me go ahead and click on my first transition. As you can see, since we've mandated certain fields, it's asking us to fill in these details before we transition to the next status. So let's say ERP issues and click on save. Let me quickly refresh my page. All right, let's do that again. Let me click on major incident. Let me fill in the details. All right. Okay, now let's say we'd like to communicate this major incident with all of our users, right? For that, I can go ahead and make an announcement. So let me go to actions and click on make an announcement. So over here, I can specify a title, given a description. I can choose how long this announcement has to be displayed for. I can choose the announcement type, set the priority, include the services involved. I can also play around with its accessibility. So if I want this to be viewed by only my technicians, I can make it private. I can also restrict it to specific user groups, or I can show it to all my users by making it public. I can also play around with how the display banner should look like, and I can see a preview of it as well. So when I click on save, this is how the announcement would be displayed for your users. All right. So since multiple users are facing the same issue, right? The IT team at Zilker figures that there is an underlying cause that is resulting in this outage to take place in the first place. So now it decides to perform a root cause analysis to drill down into what that issue is. So that's when we'll tie up with our problem management module. So let me click on my next transition. And now let's say the IT team would like to perform a root cause analysis. So let's now quickly go back to our deck and see what we'll cover to help you implement a powerful problem management system. So first, let's look at how you can create problem tickets and link them to your incidents. So coming back to our ticket, if you can follow my cursor, on the panel to my right, I can view my ticket details, right? The status that it is in, the life cycle associated, the technician assigned, and on scrolling down, I can view the associated problem. So when I click on new, it then opens a problem template which would pull in the details from my incident and automatically populate it here. I can also go ahead and click on search, which would allow me to associate an existing problem ticket to my incident. But since we're running a custom function to automate all of this, let's see how that would work. So let me click on my next transition, which is initiate root cause analysis. And let me quickly refresh my page. As you can see, a problem ticket has been automatically created and linked to our incident. So another way of creating a problem ticket is to do so right from your problem module. So let me go into my problems module now. And let me click on new problem. So this now loads up the template that I'd have to fill in to log in my problem ticket. So this again is very customizable, wherein you can construct what kind of information you'd like to collect from your user. So to do that, you can go to setup again. And under templates and forms, let me click on problem template. So let me open one that I've already created. All right. So very similar to what we've been seeing with our incident templates, right? Wherein here as well, you can drag and drop different sections and data fields to make sure that you collect all the necessary information from your user. And you can also go ahead and create and embed tasks within your template. And if you'd like to make this dynamic, you can go ahead and leverage form rules. So let's go back to our problem module. And let me open a ticket that I've already created. So similar to what we've been seeing with incidents, wherein here as well we have different tabs available, and we also have these transitions, right? So this means a life cycle is associated to this particular ticket as well. So let me quickly show you the life cycle that this problem ticket would take up. So let me go to setup, and under automation, let me click on life cycles. So this time from the drop down, I'd select problem. And as you can see, this is the life cycle that our ticket would take up. So we have all of the different statuses that the ticket would go through, and they are connected by these transitions. So let's see how this particular life cycle would work on our ticket. Going back to my problem ticket. Also with the tabs that you see over here, right? The two main tabs that would differ from what we've been seeing with incidents would be your analysis tab and your associations tab. So under associations, you get to view the incident tickets that are associated to your problem. And if you'd like to associate additional incident tickets, you can go ahead and attach them from here. Under analysis, as you can see, Zilker's IT team has recorded the impact that this particular outage has had on its users, and it has also drilled down into the root cause. So due to a sudden surge in traffic, the server that was hosting their ERP application started to malfunction. So apart from recording the root cause and impact details, it also made sure to record signs to look out for in the future to identify similar problems quickly. Coming to tasks, let's say that Zilker's IT team has carried out all of its tasks. In that case, we can select all of these tasks and close them all together. And under solution, as you can see, they've also recorded the solution that they found towards resolving this problem, right? Now that we've performed the root cause analysis and we've recorded the impact details, the root cause, and the symptoms, we've also carried out all of our tasks and provided a problem solution. We can finally go ahead and close our problem ticket. So when I click on my final transition, it then asks me to specify a closure code. So closure code again will help you understand how exactly your tickets were closed. So if they were closed on success, if they failed, or if they were cancelled. So this again will come in handy while you're generating reports to help you understand how exactly a problem management practice has been working. So let me show you how these closure codes can be configured. So let me go to setup again. And under customization, we have problem management. So you can either use the codes that are available out of the box, or you can go ahead and create a new code. So all you have to do is specify a name and give in a description. So let's go back to our ticket, and let's say that the ticket was closed on success, and click on save. All right. Now you can see a display message, right? Since we have incident tickets associated to our problem, it's a best practice to carry over the problem resolution and workaround that we find to those tickets to make sure that we can close them as well. So let me show you how this can be configured. Again, let me go to setup. And under automation, we have closure rules. So let me click on problem closure rules. All right. Over here, you can mandate certain fields, meaning that only when these fields are filled in will your technician be able to close their ticket. So in Zilker's case, only if the technician records a problem solution will they be able to close their problem ticket. Additionally, you can also set mandatory rules or optional rules as well. So that's what we've done, wherein we're asking our technician if they'd like to copy their problem resolution and workaround to all of their associated incidents. So let's now go back to our ticket. Let's enable this and click on apply. All right. Now let's go to associations and open the incident that is associated with this problem ticket. So under resolution, as you can see, the problem solution that we found is automatically copied over here as well. So now that the fix is obtained, we can go ahead and close our incident as well. So let me click on my final transition and let me specify a closure code and click on save. All right. Now let's go back to our deck and see what we've covered so far. So first we saw how you can create problem tickets and how you can link them to specific incidents. We saw how you can construct problem templates, and we also saw how you can associate relevant life cycles to these templates. We saw how Zilker's IT team performed the root cause analysis to drill down into what was causing the outage in the first place. We also saw how closure codes would work. And finally, we saw how you can record problem solutions and copy that to your associated incidents as well. All right. Now we're in the final part of today's session. So here we learn how you can create and maintain a knowledge repository of your own to make sure that so Zilker used this to make sure that it was well equipped to handle similar incidents swiftly in the future. So let's see how it created its own knowledge base. So let me go back to my problem ticket that I just closed. All right, so whatever solution or workaround that you record here, right, you can directly add it to your knowledge base by simply clicking on Save and Add to Solutions. So when I do that, it then opens up a template wherein it asks me to fill in different details with regards to this solution article. So this template is also very customizable, wherein you can construct what kind of information you'd like to collect while the solution article is being created. So to do that, you can again go to Setup. And under Templates and Forms, you have Solution Template. So very similar to what we've been seeing with our incident and problem template, right? Wherein you can go ahead and drag and drop different sections or data fields to make sure that you collect all the necessary details while the solution article is being created. So going back to the template that we were filling in, I can specify a title, record the solution that I find. I can also go ahead and specify a topic name. So this again is to make sure that all of my solution articles are grouped under relevant categories. To make sure that my knowledge base is always up to date, I can also go ahead and specify a review date and give in an expiry date as well. I can also go ahead and provide relevant keywords to improve my search accuracy. Once I'm done filling in all of the details, I can either choose to share this solution to all of my technicians or specific technician groups. I can also publish it in my self-service portal to make sure that my end users can also view these solution articles. So once I'm done filling in all of the details, I can go ahead and click on Add and Approve. So let me quickly go into my Solutions module to show you how this particular solution article will be recorded. All right. So on the panel to my right, all of the solution articles available will be grouped under separate categories based on the topic name that you specify. As you can see, the solution article that we just created is here in our knowledge base, right? So for each of these solution articles, you can perform other actions like you can forward it to specific users. You can also share it with specific technician groups or technicians. And if you have the right roles and permissions, you can also approve or reject your solution article. So let's now go back to our deck and see what we've covered. So we saw how you can construct your own solution templates. We saw how you can approve or reject your solution articles. We also saw how you can keep your knowledge base up to date by providing specific review and expiry dates. Now let's look at how these solutions would be auto-suggested. So for that, let me go to my end user portal and let me now create another incident ticket. So when I fill in the subject line and say I specify the keyword as ERP, you can see based on this keyword, relevant solution articles are automatically suggested to me on the panel to my right. So this again will be based on the keywords that you provide while you create your solution article. So the more accurate your keywords are, the better your search results will be. So coming back to my technician account, Let's say now, as a technician, none of these articles prove helpful to you, right? And you'd like to search for solutions outside your knowledge base. You can do that by using Zia. So Zia is our AI assistant, and now powered by ChatGPT, it allows you to source information from external websites. So all you have to do is click on Ask ChatGPT action, and then you can go ahead and give in your prompt. So let's say, how do I resolve ERP application issues? And now Zia will be giving me a very detailed solution as to how I can resolve the issue that I'm facing. So let's see how you can integrate with ChatGPT. So let me go to setup again. And under apps and add-ons, we have integrations. So let me scroll down and find ChatGPT. All right. So here you can configure your organization details and you can give in your API key. Then you can go ahead and enable the features that you'd like to access. So let's now go back to our deck and see what we've covered so far. So let's have a quick recap. First, we saw how you can create and customize your own incident templates, also how you can make them dynamic and make them accessible to the right people. Then we saw how you can build and associate relevant life cycles to the templates that you create. So this helped make sure that we set a standardized process to handle all of our incident tickets. We also saw how we can configure business rules to automate routine manual tasks by performing condition-based actions on our tickets. And we also saw how we can configure service level agreements and also set up escalation rules for your SLAs. Then we saw how we can streamline communication by using announcements, and we also saw how we can streamline collaboration by sharing and following incidents. Then we moved into the problem management module where we saw how we can link problem tickets to specific incidents. We also saw how Zilker's IT team, they leveraged problem management to perform a root cause analysis to drill down into what was causing the outage, right? And then we saw how you can create and maintain a knowledge repository of your own by documenting all of your workarounds and solutions. And finally, we saw how we can integrate ChatGPT with Zia to make sure that we can source information from external sources. If you'd like to know more about Service Desk Plus, you can always visit our support portal where you can refer to our admin guides, or if you'd like to be kept posted on all of the new updates and releases that we roll out, you can refer to our release notes. Or if you have any other further questions, or if you'd like to share any feedback, you can always write to us at hello@servicedeskplus.com and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for attending this session. I hope that it was a useful one. Thank you.